In 1996, in Brantford, New Hampshire, picking up from the previous film's ending, teenager Alex Reek receives the Jumanji board game, found by his father on a beach after it was thrown over a bridge by Alan Parrish and Sarah Whittle 27 years previously. Alex sets the game aside, asking himself, who plays board games anymore? That night, the game, taking advantage of Alex's interest in video games, magically transforms into a video game cartridge which catches Alex's attention when he is awakened by the Jumanji drums. As he plays it, he is teleported into the game. 20 years later in 2016, 4 students in Brantford High School are placed in detention together. Spencer Gilpin, who was caught writing an essay for his former friend, Anthony Fridge Johnson, who was there for the same reason and has been kicked off the football team, Bethany Walker, who made a video call during an English class quiz and barely missed talking her way out of it, and Martha Capley, who refused to participate in PE class and accidentally insulted her instructor. Their principal punishes them by sending them to the school basement to prepare magazines for recycling, as an opportunity for them to think about their future. Upon exploring the basement, Fridge discovers Alex's discarded video game system with the Jumanji cartridge. Spencer and Fridge set up the game out of curiosity. The game presents 5 possible playable characters, but the first one is unable to be selected. Spencer and Fridge end up selecting 2 of the remaining characters, and the girls are also persuaded to choose their own characters. When Spencer hits start, the 4 are sucked into the game. They find themselves in a jungle, each now in the forms of their game avatars. Spencer is a tough, muscular explorer and archaeologist named Dr. Smolder Bravestone. Fridge is a diminutive zoologist named Franklin Mouse Finbar, whom he had selected upon misreading the name as Moose. It later causes tension as Fridge's character is designed as a valet for Spencer's. Bethany is an overweight male cartographer and intellectual named Professor Sheldon Shelley Oberon, whose nickname she mistook for a woman's, and Martha is a gorgeous commando and martial arts expert named Rudy Roundhouse. They soon realize that they each have 3 lives, and Spencer speculates that if they lose all 3, they die for real. Each of them also has special skills and weaknesses. They learn the game's story from Nigel, an NPC guide. Power-corrupted Professor Russell Van Pelt stole the Jaguar's eye, a magical jewel, cursing the land of Jumanji. Nigel escaped from Van Pelt with the jewel, and the players must now return it to its proper place in the eye socket of an enormous jaguar statue and call out Jumanji, possibly the only remnant of Jumanji's board game origins, to lift the curse. Before departing, Nigel warns them that Van Pelt will stop at nothing to retrieve the jewel, which gives him control over Jumanji's animals. The group begins to tackle the game's increasingly difficult levels, losing lives periodically as they do so. When the group is cornered by Van Pelt's men at a bazaar, they are rescued by Alex, the missing 5th player, whose avatar is a pilot named Jefferson Seaplane McDonough. Having taken shelter in a jungle house built by Alan Parrish, Alex believes that he has only been gone for 3 months, and is distressed to learn of his 20 years of absence. The newcomers vow to help him return home. Working together, the group breaks into a transportation shed, commandeering a helicopter to fly to the Jaguar statue and return the jewel, but Fridge accidentally drops the jewel into a herd of white rhinoceros. Spencer sacrifices one of Fridge's lives by pushing him out of the helicopter as a distraction, and manages to secure the jewel. Upon landing, Alex loses his last life when a mosquito bites him, but Bethany performs CPR and saves him by transferring one of her lives to him. Arriving at the statue, the players find themselves facing a pack of jaguars on one side and Van Pelt's forces on the other. Using their resources and teamwork, the players outmaneuver their opposition while Spencer and Martha race to the statue. Van Pelt confronts Martha, trapped in a pit of venomous snakes, and demands the jewel, but she sacrifices one of her lives to respawn strategically to get the jewel to Spencer. With all players on their last life, they end the game, with Van Pelt disintegrating into a crowd of rats, and return to the real world, courtesy of shaking hands with Nigel, who gives them fond farewells, though Alex does not appear with them. On their way to the Breek household, formerly the dilapidated home of Alex's father, Old Man Breek, they discover it to be restored and decorated for a Christmas family gathering. And adult Alex arrives, having returned to where he left off in 1996 and changing the course of history. He is now married with children and named his eldest daughter after Bethany out of gratitude for saving his life. He also introduces the 4 to his infant son Andy. Spencer and Fridge reconcile, Bethany evolves to care for others than herself and makes plans for a summer backpacking adventure. Martha and Spencer become romantically involved. The end of the film sees them sharing a kiss, and the teens are now friends after their experiences in the game. The four hear Jumanji's drumbeats and take the game behind the school where Fridge destroys it with a bowling ball they found in detention to prevent anyone from playing it again.